Hey everybody, welcome back. So it's been, I want to say maybe a week since my last video. And I am at the point with my first novel where it is getting formatted and having a test print done. So while we wait for all of that, I am ready to start working on actually like planning out my book launch, which is insane to like say those words because I feel like I've been working on this book forever. I think I started it in like May of last year and it is now September of this year. So it's been almost a year and a half, which is crazy to think about, but here we are. I'm so excited to finally be at this part. And I also feel like this is like a really fun part of it too. So like I would call this like the bonus or like extra credit fun, because like I obviously have a lot of fun writing the book, but then like being able to market it is like the extra credit fun, because like for my day job I work in marketing. So let's plan it out. Jump right in. So I printed out some monthly calendars. So it's September. So I printed out September, October, November, and December. And I also have some sticky notes. So I'm going to color code some things. And yeah, we're going to see how this goes. So I want to start just from like experience. When we plan events and things at work, we always pick the date and then work backwards from there. So I'm going to do the same strategy here. So I'm going to pick my launch date first. So I'm looking at December just because I feel like that gives me the most time. I also am a little on the fence about it because I feel like December is such a busy time for people with Christmas and all those types of like those holidays. I also am conscious of the fact that it is more expensive to advertise in November, December for the same reasons. With that being said, I still feel like that's a good month for me, just because like January is super busy for me outside of outside of my book. Like I travel a lot for work in January, and I also usually take a vacation in January. So it just like, it doesn't fit into my schedule. But I'm also looking at December, and I know that I have some travel at the beginning of December, and I'm a little hesitant for that, but I feel like if I pick a day before my travel, that it will be okay. So with that being said, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose December 5th, because starting on the 7th, that's when I'm going to be traveling. So I feel like that will kind of give me some, like I'll be home for the whole week leading up to the launch, and then I can batch like content or anything necessary for after the launch. So I feel like that's a good date. So we're gonna lock that in. And I think what I'm gonna do, because I want to color code my sticky notes, I think what I'm going to do is use the hot pink sticky notes for like anything not marketing, if that makes sense. So like book launch, editing, due, final, revisions, like all of that kind of thing. So all of the like not marketing related things. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put launch on here. And I'm gonna put it on the calendar. These are like a little too big for here. I wish I had scissors because I would cut them, but like you can kind of see like they definitely overlap on the lines, but we're gonna run with it for now, whatever. So if we're working backwards, that then brings us to November, which I can actually technically I can see the book launch. And also the reason that I'm using the sticky notes for now is because if I have to move anything, I don't want to have to I don't want to use pencil. I'm a pen person, and I also don't want to have to do this a million times. So that's why we're using sticky notes for now until things are more locked in place, and then I'll transfer everything. But because I can also see the first week of December on my November calendar, I'm also going to put book launch on the November calendar just so I can kind of see it better, I guess. Well, no. I was going to say I guess I really didn't need the December calendar, but I really do because there's also things that need to happen after the launch, obviously. So, we have it on there. That's so crazy. Okay. So I'm going to put December aside for now. So if we're looking at November, I also, in complete honesty, I have never planned a book launch before like this. So the last book that I launched, which I wouldn't even really call a launch, was a self-help book that I wrote for female entrepreneurs, and it was not quite like a passion project like this is. That was not a novel. It was a very short little self-help book. This is a full-on novel that has taken me so long to write. Love the story. This is much more personal to me, and I obviously want to do right by the book and the story within the launch. So all that being said, I have no idea what I'm doing. Absolutely none. So that's fun. So this is where I'm totally lost, and I really don't know what to do otherwise, because I guess what we should do before I work on any of the marketing pieces of it, I want to nail down all of my deadlines. So if I want to launch the book on December 5th, I need to know how long it's going to take the printer to print the book. So I'm gonna get my laptop out, and we're just going to look up printing dates for the publisher that I'm using and go from there. So I'm going to be using Amazon's KDP for now, I believe. I'm still a little on the fence about it. So in the past, I've used Lulu very consistently. They are extremely expensive though. So that's why I'm a little on the fence about it. I also want to give Amazon the exclusive ebook rights through Kindle Unlimited and everything like that. So that's again kind of why I was leaning towards this route. So let's just look up Amazon KDP printing time. So up to 2 weeks to be printed, shipped, and delivered depending on the printer. I also love the pre-order feature that they have for the ebook. I don't believe they have one for print books. I believe. I think that is still correct. So that is a little bit of a downside, but is what it is. I think we're just gonna go 2 weeks out from there. So 2 weeks from December 5th is November 21st. That also leaves Thanksgiving though. I'm pretty sure Thanksgiving is the 27th. So I want to be mindful of that. Let's look up Thanksgiving. Yes, Thanksgiving is the 27th. So I want to give myself a couple extra days just because it's Thanksgiving. So I'm going to go with November 19th. We're going to do book orders in. And we're going to put that on our little calendar. So, have that on there. And then we're going to look up book launch timeline. Can you tell that I have no idea what I'm doing? I will say, I feel like I have put myself at a disadvantage because throughout writing my novel over the last year and a half, I have not positioned myself as an author. Like, I have not done any work on my personal branding. I have not put together an author website. Like, I haven't done any of that, which is an issue. And I know that. I know that that's an issue. So I know that on my September calendar, that's going to be on my list, is to create an author website. But I should have been doing that already. So I have set myself up a little bit at a disadvantage, but it is what it is, and we're just going to work through it. So I am actually going to, because there's a lot of setup that I know needs to happen, so I can start adding those as well. So I am going to transition over to my September calendar, and I'm going to use this peachy color for any of my marketing tasks. So the first one is going to be author website. So we're going to write setup author website. And today is the 8th. So I want to have that done by Friday. So I'm going to put that on my Friday one. And then by Monday, I would like to have my email list set up. So we're going to put setup email list. And I'm going to put that on Monday. Also, another thing to think about for November is ARCs. So advanced reader copies, which I have done not as much research as I should have done on it, but I know that I want to send those. And I also know that I want to send some books to some book talkers, even if they don't write a review. Obviously, like, I just want to send them the book. If they read it, great. If they don't, whatever. So I also want to do that. So that, I don't know when that should be done. Okay, so according to the internet, you should send out ARC copies between 1 to 3 months before your book's launch. So 1 month would be November 5th. Okay, in transparency, like, this does make sense to me because you want to give people time to read the book and then time to write a review if they're going to. So yes, that makes sense to me. That makes sense to me. So November 5th would be a month prior. I feel like I need to aim for maybe like mid-October because I also want to be mindful, again, of the holiday season. Like, it is hard for people to sit down and read and then write a review when they're like getting ready for Thanksgiving and Christmas and all of those things. So I am we're going back to the hot pink sticky notes because this is more of like a deadline or task and not really marketing related. So I'm going to go for October 24th. We're just going to put ARC deadline. And that's our first October sticky note. So I was going to put like nail down cover design, like book blurb, all that, but I already have all of that. Like, my cover is done. The back cover blurb is done. So I don't feel like I need those on here. Like, there is no, while there is technically a deadline for them, it's done. So I'm not really, worried about that. So if my ARC copies need to go out on October 24th, then I need to have the final files into the printer by like October, technically 2 weeks before that would be October 10th, but I'm almost wondering if we like allow extra time just in case. So maybe we do October 3rd. So file into printer. And I'm gonna put that on October 3rd. Life of a Showgirl Day. If you're a Swiftie, you get it. Okay, so October 3rd, we need to have our files into the printer. And what else? I'm browsing the internet while I do this because I genuinely have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. But my goal anyways is to start filling this in with like actual like content ideas. So that's what these little pink guys are gonna be. I will say, and I would love feedback on this, but like, so I have a personal Instagram account, obviously, that I try to grow anyways. And it is hard for me to run multiple Instagram accounts because that's like, I also do it for work. So I just don't have it in me to run multiple accounts for myself personally. So I really want to just keep everything on the account that I already have and just kind of transition that account into, I guess, like a content creator style where like I want to share about my books. I want to share, like, I just want it to be about me, whether that is something I'm working on at work at the time or launching my book or the kids or like something like that. So I do want to just keep it in one account because it's so much more manageable for me. Like I know that I'll do it if it's one account. I've tried to have multiple accounts before. It's too overwhelming for me. I don't know how to do that. So if anyone has tried to do that and did it successfully or failed at it, I would love the feedback. I would love it. Well, I feel like maybe we just start filling in like the content ideas. So, and like I'm trying to come up with like fun ways with the plan of like just combining, using my current Instagram account, combining that. I'm trying to come up with like fun ways to make the first post about it because like so far all I've done is like little story snippets where like you can see my computer screen or like my word count or like something like that, or like a picture of me editing the book. Like it's really only been story posts so far. I have not posted anything to my feed about the book. So I do kind of want the first post that I make about it to be like exciting and cool. So I really wanted it to be like when I had my first proof copy of it with the cover and all of that. I really feel like that would be a special post. And just obviously like that would be a cover reveal, but I don't know. I feel like that's fun. So I think that's what I'm going to go with. I just don't know like when I'm going to have that copy in my hands. So that's kind of hard to say. Like it's the 8th. So I feel like maybe by the 26th I could post that. I feel like I could commit to that. So let's do cover reveal on IG and TikTok. So those are going to be my two like main social media sources. I don't know what I want to say. Those are gonna be the two channels that I post on. So we have the cover reveal on here for September 26th. Let's see what else. Author website, mailing list. Okay, so I also need to think of something to get people to join the mailing list because obviously there has to be some incentive there. I feel like it's easy. So like a lot of like what I'm used to with email lists is like there's a lead magnet, right? So it's hard to translate that to an author because when you are a retail website, it's super easy to throw out a free shipping coupon or a percentage off, like something like that. I don't necessarily think that that is what readers are looking for. I feel like it needs to be something a little different, but I don't really know what that different thing is. So I'm struggling a little bit there. And I had started to make a list of some ideas that I had. but there's nothing like super specific. Like it's like Amazon ads. I don't even know what's on the back of this. Amazon ads, BookFunnel, newsletter swap, BookBub, which I heard about on YouTube, so we're gonna look into that. Goodreads giveaways, ARCs, pre-order incentives, exclusives, so like an extra chapter, another POV, whatever, and then a signed copy sale after the release. So I don't know. I'm struggling with that a little bit. So I don't know, but either way, we still need to do newsletters, which I feel like one a month is fine. And then maybe like the month of the release, we'll do an extra one. So I'm thinking maybe, so since in September, I'm not going to set up the email list until the 15th, or that's my deadline. So maybe we don't do one in September and we start October 1st and we do a newsletter. So we're going to add that. So switching back to my little salmon sticky notes, we're just going to say email newsletter. And we're going to put that on October 1st. And then because it's a monthly newsletter, I'm going to do the same thing for November and December. So, which I just realized that December is over there. All right, so email, newsletter. I'm really trying to not make, like when I'm traveling in December, I'm really trying to make it not overwhelming, because that's going to be overwhelming enough as it is. I'm a little nervous about that, but so then December 1st, same thing, email, newsletter. And that's so close to the book launch that like I don't think we need another one before the launch, but I do think that we need one. Oh, see, this is the thing about December though, is like I would say yes, maybe like 2 weeks, a week and a half after the launch, there should be another email newsletter. But 2 weeks after the book launch is December 19th. So again, like just trying to be so conscious of the fact that people's emails are overflowing with Christmas deals and all of that. And it just, the timing of it is not fun. But we're going to do it. So I'm going to actually go with December 16th. We're going to do an email newsletter. I feel like that's like 10 days. That's 10 days. So I feel like that's fine. So we're going to do email newsletter. And that's like almost perfectly mid-month. So I think that will work just fine. All right. So that's December newsletters. So that's it for newsletters. I actually just found a really great resource by, I think it was written by Debbie Maccomer. I think that's how, I feel like I butchered her name. But I will link it in the description because it is like amazing. It breaks down like everything from pre-launch to after launch, and it's super helpful. So I'll link that below. That's kind of what I'm going off of now. Because she talks about like your newsletter, updating your author pages, like all things like that, which I think are like super helpful. And like, I never would have thought about updating author pages. So thank you, Debbie. She also has on here, create an inventory of stylized photography, which is super interesting because I feel like what a lot of people do is just throw their cover on like a mock-up of books, which guilty. But it's so much better when it's like the actual book and she has like, it's really cute. So, anyways, I feel like I don't really know what else to put on here. without like being like super specific of like, this is what I want to post on Instagram for this day, and like that kind of thing, which I'm not quite ready to do. I don't feel like I'm ready to sit down and like actually come up with like a content plan, especially because I want to intermingle it with my other content and not just have every single post be about my book. So I feel like I need a little more thought on that. I don't want to just like immediately like go right into it. But I feel pretty good, so I'll just do like a quick overview of what I have so far. So for September, today is the 8th for reference. So by Friday, which is the 12th, I want to set up my author website, which I feel like that is a doable goal. By the 15th, which is Monday, I want to set up my email list. Again, I feel like that's a doable goal. And then on the 26th, I want to reveal my cover design, which I'm a little nervous about that date. It's just going to really depend on if I get the book in time to like do a little photo. So I'm a little nervous about that, but I think it'll be okay. So then October 1st, we have an email newsletter. October 3rd, I want to finalize or get the final file to the printer. And then October 24th is when I want to have all of my ARCs sent out. Every single ARC that I'm going to send, and like any like free copies that I want to send to some book talkers or whatever, those all have to be done by October 24th. It's like super overwhelming. So then we go into November. So November 1st, email newsletter. November 19th, I want to get my final book orders in because I want to order some copies to have on hand. And then December 5th is our book launch. So that's super crazy. But yeah, so then, December, can't forget December. So December 1st, email newsletter, then December 5th will be the book launch, and then we'll send another like follow-up newsletter on the 16th just because it is like right after the launch. I feel like we need another email blast. So that's all I have so far. I feel like that's where I'm gonna leave the video for tonight, and next time I sit down with these calendars, we're gonna put some social content on them and like actually nail down a content plan, which is so crazy. But I'm excited. I feel like the first post I want to have on there about the book at all is the cover reveal. Like I just want it to be like a boom, like here you go. So I'm not going to be doing anything. That's probably going to be the only post about the book in September, because I really want to only post, like, this might be a huge mistake, but I think I only want to post about the book once or twice a week, which if I post about it that Friday, there's only 3 days left of the month of September after that. So that might be the only post in September about the book. But anyways, yeah, next time I sit down, we'll do actual like social content strategy. And yeah, so thanks so much for tuning in and making my calendars with me so far. And I hope you enjoyed.